given that he didn't finish school, he has tried.
Yeah.
How many people can speaking English of that level?
The biggest problem here is that he has a congregation full of people giving him money.
Yes. Can you imagine how smart those people are?
And leaving his English even aside, he's just everything. Just everything.
No,
what is wrong with that?
That thing about sheep in the Bible?
Yeah.
Because really,
no, there are very many people who did not finish school and they are in the public domain. You do know some of them are really billionaires right now, which I don't know.
Yeah, we have the likes of somebody like Jega Karuma, who was not very.
There are very many people who didn't finish. Like even we have a president, a sitting president for a very important country in Africa who did not finish school, and his English is yes.
So you're saying
it's his fault that he's not even going to polish himself. You get all that money, you get a Range Rover, you can have a lot of people in your pockets, allegedly, as what people are saying, but you cannot speak proper English.
But to be fair, if he speaks Kikuyu and Swahili, it should be enough.
It shouldn't be forced. That's why I said he was speaking in tongues.
So then it should have been in a language that he would understand. To be fair to him, he doesn't have to know how to speak English.
No, he can get a translator,
You're being a bit elitist here.
Yeah, well,
slightly. But
mostly because of what he allegedly did.
But the thing is, it's comical. Yeah. Whatever else, I mean, this guy is just like, it's just ridiculous. Like when he said about the demons. He said that all the demons in his congregation has demons. Then he said that they should go and get into the heads of journalism and critics.
No, what he said. What
in the Bible that says if a demon leaves a wicked man's house, it goes across the land, and then it comes back with 7. Matthew 12.
Yes.
It comes. It comes back. It says, "Let us go back to our house," but it looks for 7 friends. So all the demons he took, if there are 49, there are going to be 342 demons back in his church this Sunday.
No, but he said what he was saying is that according to those journalism who are accusing him, if they have demons, demon must die. So it's not the journalism he's against.
It's a demon.
It's the demon. So journalism, don't worry. It is not you. It is not you who is against or he has issues with. Journalism is okay. The issue is the demon. And as for
the demon will not get
so those journalism who are taking photo, then putting him next to the dead, that is not good. It's the demon that must die.
That's not good.
All right, I think the Nairobian is the one that did last week. So those journalism of Nairobian, starting with you.
No, especially Julie.
All right, moving on to something else, and one of the good things that happened this week, really good, was the unveiling of the new lady brigadier.
Oh yes.
And Kenya is definitely doing well in terms of gender parity, and she deserves it. And I think that was a good thing. For me, that was really a highlight this week.
I keep saying, really, truly, that we do have a president that is on the right course. He actually does want to make, to make good the promises that he made when they were coming into power. And I saw that Martha Karua was also quite happy about it, and he tweeted, and there was retweets around it. There's still more, because they're still talking about this. The discussion is still ongoing about whether we are really getting onto that, whether we are getting it right, because it's supposed to be 2/3, is it, for the gender. But once we have begun and we can be able to see that these people are there, we are moving forward. So I think we need to support things that are like that. I loved that, really good. And plus, where she does come from, which has been considered a minority before, and people have made a lot of noise, I can only say kudos.
Okay, Smita?
Yeah, I was surprised. I was just surprised that I was surprised that they had never
pleasantly surprised.
Yes.
I was surprised that they had never been one.
Okay, I was a bit startled. Like, I looked at the headline, I was like, I always assumed they're like high-ranking,
army women,
female soldiers, because the courage and of course intelligence and so on, much as the army looks much and so on, it's not in doubt across the world. Israel has had, top-ranking, from defense ministers to soldiers. So I'm surprised there's only just one.
Or rather being the first one.
That was my thought as well. I just thought, how hard is it to just do a 50-50? Every time you're appointing. No, every time you're appointing.
In the army?
No, in generally
50-50.
appointments. In the government, in the army, wherever that the president is doing, just make sure there's 50% women and 50%.
No, I think it should be
he has begun. He has begun, I think.
I think the army has got significantly far lesser women.
So which makes it a better case for the whole thing.
If there are 20 of them, 20%, then they should do, out of every 5, 1 should be a woman. Otherwise you'll end up with a...
And I think with the military, really, appointments are very based on performance and based on experience, based on what is available. And if the figures, because again, we must understand that Kenya being a young country, as it were, we probably don't have that many women in the forces. Maybe they're increasing, but that's a good thing that at least those who deserve are recognized. It should not be a big thing that a woman is there. It should actually be one of those things that she deserves and be there. Okay, and now before we go to international hot topics, there was also Kenyans who came and on KOT, someone tell Kagame. As usual, Kenyans I think have become the online whip boys.
The chief whips of online, I tell you.
Of the region.
You know, I think it was a very innocent, I think just Kagame himself was just, or his team, because I'm not too sure if Kagame himself ran his own Twitter handle, because I'm sure at that time he was in a certain meeting, but then that came out, and but I'm sure he agreed that people can say like that. But Kenyans are interesting. They can fight other people's battles and still win it on their behalf, because this one was on behalf of the Rwandan people. In fact, they were like, there are only 10 of them allowed to comment. So it was pretty interesting. But just on the same breath, the Kagame war was won. I think also Mugabe said something, and they were also quite upset with him.
Actually snapped back.
He snapped back. But you see, we won the CNN one because they came and apologized. They did that yesterday.
I think they also come and set up base here or something.
Yes.
No,
they've already set some base here, which is quite nice. But it was big of them to.
I think they had to say sorry. Others would be like, no. Go away.
Or it would just be unpleasant. How hard is that sorry? But that thing for Kagame, I'm with Kagame. Countries have got different histories. Kagame, anyone who has studied Rwanda, and I've read lots of books. I haven't tried to write one, but it's just a bit
about Rwanda.
Yes. Okay. Kagame, you can't, if you begin to understand where that guy came from, the sheer genocide, going to villages where everybody is dead. Even as somebody adopted a baby who 3 days later was suckling or whatever, and then you have some random Kenyans. You are right. Sometimes you are too noisy. He was right to tell that bagger, get your own legacy.
If you have any.
Mike, let me finish.
Okay.
Because this one, Paul Kagame, the Rwanda is just the fabric of that society, where they slaughtered like over 1 million people. We don't come from that thing, from that tradition. We guys are democratic, we roll over elections, we have our term limits and so on. You get, and Kenyans like that. Like you go to a bar, Kenyans know what everyone on this planet should be doing. All the time. Except we have uninformed opinions. Somebody probably has no idea even what Interamo is. But
that doesn't change the fact that they have a constitution.
Opinions are very cheap. Opinions are cheap. We don't understand the fabric of Rwanda from 1958 and so on. So Kagame was right to dismiss that Kenyan, and all those Kenyans on KOT who in 140 characters are busy lecturing someone like Paul Kagame. They are only famous on Twitter.
But now, according to what even Obama said when was it here, was it Addis Ababa? And one of the things he mentioned, and I believe a good legacy is based on the fact that you mentor others to take over. And also you have institutions and systems that run regardless of you being there. So is it a sign of good leadership when it's only you who can do it?
Rwanda was reduced to rubble, to nothing. You can't imagine what Kagame's mistake right now, I think, is you should be hastening the process of building those institutions and so on. But it's such a dangerous powder keg of a society beneath, they're just told forget. But if you had done that at the 2 major tribes and then one has finished, decimated the other one, it's a very dangerous place even now. So those guys are still across the border in Congo, You know, they're still there.
I think
Goma and so on. Not that Kagame is just like you don't know what you are talking about.
Sometimes when something like this, especially when you're talking about Rwanda, and I will agree with you, because historically, if anybody has gone down and read deeply about these people, it may not be as easy as 140 characters and saying this is what he's saying. And if he actually hit back with such passion, that is somebody who is passionate about his country. It may not be right that he wants to run for this or he wants to do that, but if he is doing it and the Rwandan people are okay with it and they know that this is our problem. You see the way we sit down and we say that African problems need African solutions and do not need the West to do it. Sometimes as KOT, perhaps let's leave Ugandan problems to get Ugandan solutions, leave Rwandan problems to get Rwandan solutions, until of course our president is there, is the president of East Africa right now, so he also can be able to bring his 5 cents. But we do not have to shout about everything sometimes without also understanding where those people are coming from.
You have a lovely dress. Can you imagine if you said one size fits all? You give it to Mike right now.
This dress? No, but this is the Rwandan Constitution. The Rwandan Constitution has a 2-term limit. Rwandan Constitution, not one-size-fits-all Kenyan Constitution. Or anywhere. The Kenyan Constitution? No, I'm just saying it's not like a general constitution that's floating out there that says the 2-term constitution
can be changed by referendum.
So, is he going to live and is he going to be president until he dies?
We don't know.
And then what happens when he dies?
It's
not Kagame. What's going to happen? The power is going to explode.
We don't know what will happen when Mugabe dies.
Yeah.
But
no, we don't.
When Tito of Yugoslavia died, the country collapsed in 1990 when Joseph Tito in Yugoslavia died. Of course, so Kagame should be thinking about that right now.
And I'm sure he is thinking about it.
I think the other thing that maybe was making eyebrows raised by Kenyans is out of all those millions in Rwanda, only 10 people. Only 10. Like seriously? Okay,
there were only 10 people who didn't even know what the Rwanda.
No, only 10 people were against the term being, extended. But only 10 people in Rwanda, according to the report.
According to that report, and this is why I'm saying, until we jump onto conclusions and discuss things that we are not familiar with, because we are not in there, if you cannot know where the shoe pinches if you're not the wearer of that shoe. Okay.